Dr. Shabir, welcome to Let the Quran Speak.
Pleasure to be on.
We're looking at misunderstood Quranic verses, Dr. Shabir, and the verse we are looking at is from chapter 3, verse 28. It says, "Let not the believers take disbelievers for their friends in preference to believers."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is often misunderstood. Critics look at it and say, oh, it looks like you Muslims, you guys can't have us non-Muslims as friends.
Yes.
And
what an intolerant religion, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then Muslims themselves might be puzzled by it, like, can't we have a non-Muslim friend? Mm-hmm. So the answer to it is simpler than people might imagine, but we have to unpack this a little bit. So there is the word that is used here that is translated friend by many translators is wali. And the plural is Awliya. And wali has the sense of someone who takes charge of your affairs. So, in a traditional Muslim marriage, the girl will be married off by her father. The father is said to be her wali in this case. Wali here is not in the meaning of friend. Wali is the man who is taking charge of the affairs of his daughter, right? So it has that kind of connotation. It also has political connotations, the term wali, as opposed to the simple term friend. So you have the term friend in the Quran, and you have warm friend, sadiqun hamim, a warm friend. But that's not what is mentioned here. There's also the word Khalil. Khalil and Khalil could mean a very close friend. Like Abraham is called the Khalil of Allah. وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. God took Abraham as a Khalil, which is a close friend, like a kind of a buddy friend, you might even say. Now, all of that is possible, outside of the scope of this verse, because this verse is concerned with this term wali, which, as I said, is a politically loaded term. So when
could Muslims, it be like a guardian or an advisor or something like this?
It could be. I mean, it could have the meaning of friend, like when we say that a certain mystic is waliullah. It may mean that person is very close to God, very intimate with God. So it has that kind of meaning as well. But it's more it's more packed with meaning than a simple word friend. So we're making progress by looking at all of these facets,
okay.
Right? Now, in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when the Quran was being revealed to him, the Muslims were being beleaguered by many opposing forces who were determined to wipe out the Muslims. To get rid of their religion in totality, and so the Muslims had to close in on themselves, choose their friends wisely. In that situation, there was no standing army among the Muslims, the army that could be called upon suddenly to defend the frontiers of the Muslim polity. Every able-bodied Muslim could be called upon to be ready to go into battle in the defense and to be part of the resistance movement, and that means also that the ordinary citizens, now there is a distinction in our societies between the ordinary citizen and the military personnel. And if a military man is seen drinking with, military from the other opposing forces, then this would bring him under suspicion, right? Be called in for questioning, like, is he committing an act of treason or something like this? Well, the Muslim citizens were, in a shade of that, because they went out with the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to defend the Muslim frontier. So they knew the strengths and the weaknesses of the Muslim army, and they could divulge that to other people. So Muslims had to be, cautious about who they would take as a close and intimate friend, lest they could divulge the Muslim secrets and so on. It is also a theologically laden term, because in the Quran, God calls upon us to take him as our wali. God says, Allahu waliyul ladina amanu. God is the wali of those who believe. And God is telling us, don't take as wali the shaitan, the Satan, and the cohorts of the Satan and so on. In a similar way, God is saying that, okay, you're not going to take as your wali, as one who is going to govern your affairs and so on, one who is, from the disbelieving camp. A further facet of this, Safiya, is that as you read it, the verse said, taking as wali, the disbelievers in preference to the believers. Now, it is normal that, as I say, birds of a feather flock together. In that society at the time, when the tribes were divided, each to his own, the religion, had its own. Each religion had its followers, and the followers were living separately, and so on. Naturally, your friends will be mostly from your, those who are closely associated with you. They pray with you in the same mosque, and so on. Then, if you're going to leave those and go find a friend from the outside, that would be a bit strange, right? But if you have friends already on the inside and then you have some friends on the outside, that's not what this verse is talking about. This verse is not prohibiting Muslims from having, in addition to their Muslim friends, having friends among other people as well. Putting this all together, the conclusion basically is that, in our circumstances today, there's no harm if a Muslim has a non-Muslim as a friend, and if the person that you can trust to govern your affairs happens to be a non-Muslim, then that too is allowed. The verse is not prohibiting that in our context.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Muslim Media Hub, the new home of Let the Quran Speak.
Here we spread positivity and good. We help people experience the beauty of Islam and help them appreciate and understand Muslims.
This beautiful building we purchased at cost $2.3 million.
Yeah, we've already raised a third of that money, and with your help, inshallah, we can pay off the rest.
So we're looking for people who can give $1,000 each. If you can be part of the select group, that's amazing.
Otherwise, just please give whatever you can. Every dollar counts.
It's our collective responsibility to share the message of Islam with our fellow human beings. Please help us continue this good work.
It's a sadaqah jariyah, something that will continue to be a benefit to the Muslim community long after Safiya and I are gone.
Please support our work at muslimmediahub.com.
Your support is zakat eligible and tax deductible.
May Allah bless you and your loved ones today and always. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.